Tonight on the 10 o'clock news, today we mourn the sudden and tragic death of Thurlow Weed. Thurlow was a politician as well as a famous New York newspaper publisher. Thurlow was born in 1797 and lived up until he was 85 years old. When he was young, Weed had lots of different jobs. Blacksmith and printer are just a few of the things that he did. In the early 1820s, he learned about the connections within the world of politics. After studying politics for a few more years, Weed was elected into the Assembly during Andrew Jackson's presidency, which started in 1829. While he was part of the Assembly, he established the Albany Evening Journal. Weed was its editor, proofreader, reporter, and political manager. An advocate of economic development, Weed supported banking, internal improvements, and anything having to do with Henry Clay's American system. Weed then tightened organization in the newly formed Whig Party, to which he was a member of. Weed brought discipline as well as skillful management to the Whig Party. Although Weed shared the same ideals and beliefs as the other Whigs, he was a pragmatist who shunned unpopular decisions which jeopardized victory on Election Day. After lots of political roadblocks, Weed's fortunes improved after the Mexican War. Once again, however, Weed was disappointed at the death of Zachary Taylor. Taylor's death brought the secession of Millard Fillmore and the Compromise of 1850. Weed's opposition to the compromise led to the beginning of the end of the Whig Party. In 1852, the Whigs' profit for success was nil and the party was completely gone. Weed realized this and joined the Republican Party in the late 1850s. President Abraham acknowledged Weed's political acumen by consulting with him during the campaign of 1860. As Abraham Lincoln once said, "Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power." Weed advised Lincoln on patronage and undertook an unofficial diplomatic mission to Europe. The problem with this, however, was the fact that his conservative views on issues brought a steady decline in his influence, which eventually caused him to leave Europe. During the Civil War, he gave up the Evening Journal to move to New York City, where in 1867 he worked on another paper to keep himself up with public affairs. He lived out the rest of his life quietly in New York before passing just yesterday on the day 22nd, 1882. Thurlow had a lot of accomplishments in his life, and we as a nation will remember that. For Thurlow, Weed is gone, but he will never be forgotten.